like, she can just be out. Like, these people are all dog people.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Queensville Sports. And today, we have another bracketology video, but I will also be doing my Power 36. I know Andy Katz does this. He obviously works for March Madness. He has a little bit more credibility than I do. But I'm doing a Power 36, and on the back of this is a bracketology bracket, and I did not use the ESPN one this time. I made my own. Okay, I put time into this. So please drop a like, because it took me a lot of time to make this. I made my own seeds and everything. So here we go. First team of the Power 36 is East Tennessee State. They are a team out of, I don't even know what conference they're in, to be honest with you. But they're actually looking very solid. They're 17-3. I think they're a trendy upset pick. I mean, watch out for these guys. They are looking very good. I saw them. I think they have a few votes to be ranked or something. I have no idea. But East Tennessee State, they're a very good team. Watch out for them. Falling a lot is Arizona. They blew a 23-point lead to Arizona last night, or to Arizona State. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, Nico Mannion is a terrific player, but I mean, I'm not sure really how good Arizona is. I mean, they haven't really impressed me so far. I mean, they got blown out by Oregon State one game, so I'm not really too high on them. Virginia, last year's national champions, are going through a bit of a rough patch in ACC play, so they're at 35. Next team, Florida. They just got whooped by Baylor, but let's be honest, Baylor's a very good team. I'm not going to tell you right now if I have them at number one or not. I might not. But I think Florida's still a very good team. Kerry Blackshear, Andrew Nemhard. They are both solid players, and I think Florida will be about a 9 to 10 seed in the tournament. They're a pretty good team. I like Florida a lot. Duquesne, the Dukes. I think they've been looking terrific in the Atlantic 10. They're one of two undefeated teams in the Atlantic 10, the other being Dayton. I think that not enough is being talked about Duquesne. They're a very good team, and I expect them to at least win one game in the tournament, maybe. USC, out of the Pac-12, they're 15-4. They're looking very good. Our next team is Creighton. I didn't know this. You guys probably are thinking I'm stupid. Creighton's actually in Omaha, Nebraska, and I thought it was in like New York or something. I don't know how Nebraska's considered in the East, but we got Creighton there. Rutgers. Now, I had to drop them a little bit. They needed a buzzer beater to beat Nebraska, which is concerning to me because Nebraska is the second worst team in the Big Ten behind Northwestern. So I'm not really sure how good Rutgers is at home. They needed a buzzer beater to beat Nebraska. Not too high on them, but they are still a solid team. Penn State, I have at 28. They're an off and on team for me. They either look really good or really, really bad. I mean, I like them so far. I have Penn State here. 27, we have Arkansas, a very good SEC team. They've been playing very well in SEC play. They almost beat Kentucky. They kind of came up a little bit short. I'm telling you, Eric Musselman, he was in Nevada when Nevada was doing really well. Eric Musselman teams will be down by like 20 and then come back. I mean, that's what Nevada did in the tournament. That's what Arkansas did against Kentucky. Eventually came up short, but I think they could be a team to watch out for. 26, we have Wichita State. I have yet to see them beat anyone very good, but they're still a good team. I mean, they've been blowing some people out. They won against UCF yesterday. Some guy from UCF hit a full court shot. That was pretty good. So Wichita State, I have there in one spot ahead of Wichita State. I have Houston, purely for the fact that Houston beat Wichita State, so I have to put them ahead of them. But Houston's another team looking good in the American, although Tulsa is actually winning the American. I don't have Tulsa on here, but possibly next week we will. They're like 12-6. 24, we have Northern Iowa from the Missouri Valley Conference at 16-2. They are looking like a very good upset pick for your bracket. I'm really liking Northern Iowa. I like the way they play. They move the ball very well. They can shoot the three very well. Three-point shooting teams are dangerous in the tournament. Northern Iowa is at 24 for me. 23 is Stanford. I'm not sure how good they are. They haven't really beaten anyone great, but they haven't lost to any bad teams. You got to give teams credit for that, even if they haven't beaten anyone. So I have Stanford 23. Butler's at 22. I probably should put Butler way higher, but I actually did make a mistake. Liberty was supposed to be here, but then I realized Liberty lost like 2 games. They lost to like North Florida or someone, so I had to bump Liberty out. And I forgot to put Butler in, so Butler's at 22. Granted, they probably should be a little bit higher, but Butler's there. LSU at 21. They're looking great. They had a good win against Texas. And the thing about LSU is I think they're undefeated in games coming down to like less than 2 points or something. Like less than 5. LSU's a great team in close games. Colorado, the Pac-12, they're looking great for me. They beat Dayton earlier in the year. hit a buzzer beater against them. They've been playing very well lately, so that's where I have Colorado. Iowa, I have at 19. Great team out of the Big Ten. Big Ten is the best conference for basketball this year. They're looking great. Illinois is actually the team that's leading the Big Ten at the moment. Kofi Cockburn and Ayaso Dosunmu are playing very well. Dosunmu hit a buzzer beater against Michigan yesterday. They're looking very good. Maryland, a team with a bunch of tall players, big men. I really like Maryland in this scenario. I mean, I've liked what Maryland has done as of late. They play Indiana today. I'm excited to see what they can do there. Michigan State, I have at 16. Granted, I am a Michigan State fan. So, I mean, they're a good team. It's just they haven't really played up to their potential. I know they could play a lot better, but we'll see what they can do. They play Minnesota today. So we'll see what they can do there. Auburn, I have at 15. You see, if you look at the teams that Auburn's beaten, you see no one really good. And they lost to Alabama, and they got embarrassed by Florida. So I'm not really sure how good Auburn is, but they're the type of team that I don't think loses to a bad team. So I like Auburn there. Indiana, I go from not ranked to the AP poll to 14 on here. They've really impressed me. They've got no respect. They have a win against Florida State. They've looked very good, and they just beat Michigan State. So I'm liking the way Indiana is playing, and I have them at 14. 13, we have Kentucky getting a thrilling overtime win against Texas Tech. Really like the way that they played in that one. So Kentucky's there. I'm telling you, like Nick Richards, Ashton Hagans, and Tyrese Maxey are legit players. West Virginia, I have at 12. Bob Huggins keeps doing his thing. I don't know how Bob Huggins. I don't know how Bob Huggins is not in the Basketball Hall of Fame. That's just interesting to me. So West Virginia's at 12. Seton Hall's at 11. They've looked very good as of late. They beat Butler. They beat St. John's. I don't know if they won. I don't think they played yesterday, but Seton Hall's been looking very good in Big East play. Oregon we have at 10. The reason I have Oregon above Seton Hall is because Oregon beat Seton Hall earlier in the season. So I like Oregon. Peyton Pritchard, I'm telling you, is probably a top 10 player in basketball right now. Really like Oregon. Duke, obviously doing their thing. I have them at 9. You see, they've looked great against some good teams, like they beat Michigan State. But, they lost to Stephen F. Austin and Clemson and Louisville. They lost to some teams that they probably shouldn't have lost to. So, I don't know. Duke's a make or break team for me. They're either going to go really far in the tournament or maybe get upset. Dayton, I have at 8. I really like what Obi Toppin's doing. The reason I don't know I'm Dayton higher is because of some teams ahead of him. I have Kansas right above us on the show. Kansas right there. And I'll tell you why I don't have Kansas higher. The reason I have Kansas above Dayton is because Kansas beat Dayton in the Maui tournament. So, I think you have to... I think you have to give that some credit. But the thing is, Kansas played Tennessee, and obviously Tennessee isn't very good. But they struggled with Tennessee throughout that game. And without McCormick, their best player, who got ejected for Kansas State, I don't think that Kansas will be doing well the rest of the season. Granted, they will have McCormick back by the NCAA tournament, but they will have too much negative momentum coming in their way. But right now, I'm going to drop Kansas because I think the teams ahead of them are better than Kansas. I'm not a huge fan of Kansas this year. Still a great team, though. Have them at 7. Villanova, I have at 6. They actually beat Kansas, so that's the reason I have. So Villanova beat Kansas, and Kansas beat Dayton, so that's why they are in that order. I like what Villanova's been doing. As of late, they have some great wins. They beat Kansas. They've been rolling through people in Big East play. They are still as legit as ever. I really like the way Villanova's playing. I have them at 6. At 5, we have the Louisville Cardinals. Jordan Noir, Stephen Enoch, David Johnson, Cunningham. They are playing very good basketball in Louisville at the Yum Center. I have them at number 5. They could be a legit. I actually think they'll win the ACC. But there's one team ahead of them from the ACC. That's Florida State. And Florida State beat Louisville. That's why they're one spot ahead of them. I like to take head-to-head matchups into consideration. I don't think a lot of people do that enough in college basketball. I like the way that Florida State's been playing. I mean, I don't like the way Florida State's been playing. I mean, they have some good wins, but, Louisville's their only good win. And, they haven't really beaten it. They only beat Notre Dame by 1 yesterday. There was 20 seconds to go. They're up by 6, and they tried to give that game away. Not a huge fan of Florida State, but their resume doesn't lie. Have them at 4. Gonzaga, I have at 3. 20-1. They whooped Pacific yesterday. I feel bad for everyone in Gonzaga's conference. They're in the West Coast Conference that has San Diego, San Francisco, Portland, Pacific. BYU's in there. I feel bad for everyone in Gonzaga's conference. just this little conference of this one team turned out to be just an absolute juggernaut. But I'll tell you why Gonzaga's never won a national championship. It's because they're never tested in the regular season, except for the beginning. In the beginning of the season, they actually schedule good opponents. Like they played Michigan, they played Oregon. I think they played like Villanova. I can't quite remember. But Gonzaga's a great team. Have them at 3, but I don't think they'll win the national championship because they're never tested in the regular season. But we'll see. Gonzaga is looking very good. Number 2, I have San Diego State, yet to lose, and I thought about putting them at number 1. But I had to put Baylor at number 1. San Diego State looking very good. They play UNLV today at UNLV. Maybe UNLV pulls off an upset. We'll see. But I have San Diego State at 2. They've looked very good throughout this season. Haven't lost yet. Granted, they haven't really beaten any really good teams, but they're the team that will not get tripped up by a bad team. And that's why I got to put San Diego State at 2. And then I have Baylor at number 1. Their only loss was the second game of the season to Washington in Alaska. Now, I don't like taking those, like, really far games into account because, like, they're just a whole other weird, wacky thing, like when the NFL, let's play a game in London. That's just the dumbest thing ever. I'm not even going to discredit Baylor for that loss. It's tough to get a break from routine like that. But they've just been rolling through everyone. They whooped Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse. They whooped Florida at the O'Connell Center yesterday. Baylor is the number 1 team. They'll be the number 1 overall seed in the bracket. So now that we're done with the Power 36, I'll slowly scroll down so you can see everyone. Now let's go to the bracket. First, we have the play-in games. We got Monmouth, Norfolk State here, and Robert Morris, Colgate here. No one cares about those games. Richmond, St. Mary's. That would be a good game. And Marquette and Liberty are the 2 play-ins there. I'm going to take I'm taking Richmond. Richmond beat Wisconsin earlier this season. They've been looking good. They lost to Dayton yesterday, but they're one of the better teams of the Atlantic 10. So I'll take Richmond to that one, and then I'll take Marquette. Actually, no. I'll take Liberty to beat Marquette. So now let's actually go to the bracket. Here are all of our first-round games on this side of the bracket. We'll go to the other side once we're done with this. So let's reveal. Give me a second. God, it's like sticking them, sorry. Oh my God, there we go. All right, Baylor and the winner of Norfolk State and Monmouth will take Baylor. USC, Florida, I'm taking Florida. Iowa, Akron, taking Iowa. Kentucky, New Mexico State, I'm taking Kentucky. Butler and the winner of Richmond, St. Mary's. I think Richmond and St. Mary's are both 2 very good teams that can make a run in this tournament. And a play-in team has won in the first round every single year besides last year. So I'm taking that. I'm taking Duke over William and Mary. I'm taking Penn State over East Tennessee State. I'm taking Dayton over University of Arkansas Little Rock. We'll take Florida State over Loyola Chicago. I'm taking Houston over Duquesne. I'm taking an upset here. I'm taking Stephen F. Austin to beat Illinois. Stephen F. Austin beat Duke this year. They're a very good team. They're winning, I think they're in the SWAC. I don't know what conference they're in, but I like their chances there. Auburn and Yale will take Auburn. Texas Tech and the winner of Marquette Liberty. I like playing teams. I think playing teams usually have a chip on their shoulder, and usually, if they win their first game, they usually come in with momentum. So I'm taking winner of Marquette Liberty to beat Texas Tech. Oregon, Murray State, taking Oregon. Arkansas, Ohio State, I'm going to take Ohio State. And then Villanova and South Dakota State, I'm going to take Villanova. The winner of Robert Morris and Colgate, I'll take San Diego State. Creighton in Arizona, I'll take Nico Mannion in Arizona. Maryland and Wright State will take Maryland. I don't really like Wright State. Indiana, Vermont. I thought about taking Vermont, but we'll take Indiana. VCU and Stanford, I'm going to take VCU. I don't know how good Stanford is. I really don't know. They haven't really proven anything to me. So I'll take VCU. West Virginia, Montana will take Montana. Northern Iowa and Memphis will take Northern Iowa. I don't like Memphis. They lost by 40 to Tulsa. I was thinking of leaving them out of the tournament, but we'll see. Kansas and North Texas will take Kansas. Gonzaga and Furman, we're taking Gonzaga. Rutgers and Virginia, I'll take Virginia. I mean, like, they've hold on, I got some stuff. They've been here before. They know what it's like. Rutgers, I have some concerns about them. I don't really know how good they are. We'll take Virginia. Colorado and Winthrop, we're taking Winthrop. They are undefeated in Big South play, and I think that they would be a great 12-5 upset to pick here. Like Colorado and Stanford are like in the same boat. You haven't proven really anything to me. Well, Colorado did beat Dayton, but I still really don't like it that much. We're taking Winthrop. Michigan State, Hawaii, we'll take Michigan State. LSU, Wisconsin, I'm taking LSU. Seton Hall and Stetson, we'll take Seton Hall. Wichita State and Michigan, this would be a terrific 7-10 matchup. We're going to take Wichita State in that one. Then Louisville and Prairie View A&M, we're going to take Louisville. So that rounds out our first. Baylor and Florida, going to take Baylor. Iowa and Kentucky. I'll take Kentucky. They looked very good yesterday. I'll take them there. I'm taking their winner of Richmond St. Mary's. This playing game, I really like playing teams. I'm taking them in this game because Duke is a make-or-break team. They can either go on and win the entire thing, or they could get knocked out in the first or second round. That's the boom or bust potential Duke has. I mean, they lost to Stephen F. Austin. I can't put that past them. They've been playing better lately, but I mean, they lost to Clemson. I mean, Duke is a very make-or-break team for me. I'm taking Richmond St. Mary's. You got to have your upsets. Penn State, Dayton. Take Dayton. Thought about taking Penn State. Florida State, Houston. We'll take Florida State. Stephen F. Austin and Auburn. We'll take Auburn. The winner of Marquette Liberty, not Lipscomb. And Oregon will take Oregon. Ohio State, Villanova. Ohio State whooped Villanova, but this is sort of a what have you done for me lately thing. I mean, Ohio State's been really, really struggling, and Villanova's been rolling as of late.
Already.
So we're going to take Villanova. The winner of San Diego State and Arizona. I'm going to take San Diego State. I don't really like Arizona that much. I'd like them better than Creighton, though. Indiana and Maryland, a Big Ten matchup. I think Indiana's a better team. They've been playing very well lately, and they have some good wins earlier in the season. They're very underrated. I have them as a 4 seed. Most people have them as like a 7. I'm taking Indiana. VCU, West Virginia. I thought about taking VCU, but West Virginia's defensive style of play is just so good. I'm taking them. Northern Iowa, Kansas. I'm taking Northern Iowa because Kansas will have so much negative momentum coming into the tournament. I really think they're going to struggle without McCormick and everyone. So I'm going to take Northern Iowa in this one. They're rolling 16-2. I think they can keep that momentum. They might finish like really well. They could come up from this threshold that they have here. So I'm gonna take them there. Gonzaga and Virginia. Taking Gonzaga. They've been looking very good. Michigan State, I think, ends Winthrop's Cinderella run. I'm taking LSU to beat Seton Hall. They are something like undefeated in games that come down to less than like 10 points or something. I'm taking LSU. I mean, they just have been thriving so well in those games. And I'll take Louisville to beat Wichita State. That was a tough one for me. I thought about taking Wichita State, but we're going to take Louisville in this one. I'm taking Baylor. They've been looking very good. I didn't realize how many good teams they've beaten. They've beaten Texas Tech. They beat Butler. They beat Kansas. I think they beat Villanova. I mean, their resume is just undefeated. I mean, they're not undefeated. They lost to Washington and Alaska. But you know what I mean by that? I really like the way Baylor's played. I'm going to have to take them in that one. Robert Morris or St. Mary's, whoever wins that game. I think their Cinderella run comes to an end. I think Obi Toppin and Dayton have just been playing too good right now. Really like the way that they play basketball. I'm taking them. Obi Toppin can win you a game by himself. Florida State and Auburn. I'm taking Auburn because I don't really like Florida State. They haven't impressed me except for that win against Louisville. I mean, neither has Auburn, but I feel like Bruce Pearl will get his team ready for the tournament. I like them. They play fast, and I don't know if Florida State will be ready for that. I like the way Auburn plays. I think both these teams are about even, except Florida State has one good win. Auburn really doesn't, but I like the way Auburn plays. This is going to be one of my upsets. I'm taking Auburn. Oregon, Villanova. I'm going to take Villanova. I mean, they're still a very good team, and no one thinks they are. I mean, it's just because they haven't been as good as they were when they won the national championship. They're still an amazing team. I'm taking Villanova to beat Oregon. I think Indiana's run comes to an end there. San Diego State, I mean, they've been looking very good so far. West Virginia, Northern Iowa. I'm taking Northern Iowa because they're my Cinderella team. I'll stick with that until the day of the tournament unless they, lose or something. I mean, they've been looking great. 16 or there's 17-2 or something like that. They've been playing just absolutely amazing. I'm taking Northern Iowa. I think they're the team that could beat West Virginia's defense just because they can just snipe from 3-point range. I like them there. I'm taking Michigan State to beat Gonzaga because, one, I'm a Michigan State fan. This might be a little bit biased, but Gonzaga is not tested in the they are not tested in the regular season except for the first week of the season. So I am actually going to take Michigan State just because Gonzaga will not see a team as good as Michigan State for a long, long time, and I don't think they'll be ready. Taking Michigan State there. And I'll take Louisville to beat LSU, like Nwora and Enoch and all, and David Johnson. I really think that they're terrific players, and I think that they get the win in that one. All right, now to the Final Four. Let's reveal. All right. Baylor and Dayton. I think Baylor has just too many good players to play against Dayton. I mean, Dayton, Obi Toppin can't do it all. I really think Baylor will eventually get the win there. They've just been playing so well right now. I mean, they've just been under the radar, and finally they're getting their recognition. And I really think that they're just such a good team, and I really think they can play well in this tournament. Auburn, Villanova. I'm taking Villanova. They've been here before. Well, so was Auburn last year, but they lost a lot of their good players. Like they lost, what's his name? I can't even remember his name, but they lost someone really good. I'm taking Villanova there. I really like the way they're playing. I think Northern Iowa's Cinderella run, unfortunately, comes to an end to San Diego State. They've just been murdering through some sort of inferior Mountain West competition. I think they'll eventually get that done. Michigan State, Louisville. I'm taking Michigan State because they can play fast whenever they want to, and I really think that you see, Michigan State, I don't think has played up to their full potential yet. And Tom Izzo usually gets his teams ready for the tournament. They will play up to their full potential in this tournament. I think they win this game. Baylor and Villanova. Baylor already beat Villanova this season. That's why I'm taking Baylor here, because that's like the only reason. This is such a close game, but I mean, you gotta take it when it's already happened. And then San Diego State, Michigan State. I'm going to take Michigan State for the same reason that I think they'll beat Gonzaga. Because San Diego State won't play very many good teams for a long time. And Michigan State will be like the best team they played. They won't be ready. Same reason I picked Michigan State over Gonzaga. Michigan State, Baylor for the national championship. I'm taking Baylor. They've been looking great. I know it's kind of corny to pick the number 1 overall seed. I usually don't do that in the actual bracket, but we'll see what happens there. But I'm taking Baylor to win it all. They've just been looking so good as of late. I just think that they will end up winning this tournament. They have a bunch of transfers, people that play with a chip on their shoulder, and they've just been looking amazing as of late. So that's the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll give you a quick little look at the whole bracket if you want to like screenshot that or something. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, everyone.